Hello, everybody, and welcome. All right, I got my coffee, almost done, but still got my coffee. We're going to do some fun stuff, so we'll see who comes in and what happened. Right on. So, welcome everybody. So, a couple things. Let me just bring up. Do. We're going to bring up a chart of the day. That's what I'm going to do. And for you on you guys on Instagram. I'm gonna turn it over so you guys can will be able to see it. So, and show you some of the come on, come on. Do what I want you to do. Oh, I just want you to do what I want you to do. Okay, I'm gonna share this and yeah. So bringing up the chart of the day so you can see it. So hang on. You're coming with me. You're gonna do a little flippity do. Okay. So there's the chart of the day. This chart moves moment by moment. So I just took this for where it is right now. So this is where all the planets are. These are the planets. These are the signs and where they are right now. And this tells me what's going on. So right now, what we have going on is that we have this moon over here and it's starting to square. So we have, this is the first quarter square. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of basics. Why is it the first quarter square? Because it is when the moon and the sun came together, that was the new moon. And as it breaks off from that conjunction of the new moon, it becomes the first quarter square in order for it to become a full moon, and the full moon will be in Capricorn because the sun will be in Cancer for the summer solstice, and that's when we get the first full moon for Cancer. But anyways, for right now, this is the first quarter square, so we have a lot of energy in with Virgo. So Virgo is about work, getting things done. Now we have this energy coming in with Gemini, and this is really bringing in a lot to do with new technology, things coming in that are new. Gemini deals with new technology, new things. So we're seeing a lot of innovation and a lot of information coming out about AI, new things that are going to be that are being developed that are easily and readily available. And that's what Gemini loves. He loves easy access. Give me the game, give me my phone, let me see what I can access. Boom, 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 boom. And that's what's coming in. So, basic things from if you do like an AI photo, you'll be able to do within minutes, you can make that into a video. So that's coming in. Plus, you're going to have this guy here, which is Mercury. He's going to come up and nuzzle up to the sun, and that's going to be a Cassini. So the Cassini is going to come in. Now, Cassinis can be very transformational because it's going to be a burst of energy, burst of information, especially with Gemini that's coming in. So what else do we have that's going on? Well, we have the moon in an opposition with Saturn. So this is Saturn, this is in Pisces. So we have this opposition. Now the opposition is coming in and it's like Saturn brings in, what can I do? What kind of restrictions? So we have some restrictions that might be coming in, which may cause a little bit of panic, feeling overwhelmed and stressed because here's the moon, the internal core wants to get things done. So that internalness, that anxiety feeling coming in with this, and here we want a spiritual explosion. We want some kind of form of something new, some kind of oomph or structure to come forth. Now, he's bringing in that restriction. So we have those restrictions coming in. We also have the moon or Mercury coming over, and it's squaring over to Saturn. So we got a lot of energy coming over to Saturn. We got a lot of energy that's coming over to the moon. So we're going to stop this. And you get to see my lovely face again. And here we are. So with this coming forward, this is bringing in because squares are like we can't see what's really around the corner, like it's around the corner. It's a square. But it is that anxiety or that hesitation that comes in. So it's wanting us with, especially with the moon in Virgo, wanting us to push forward. And um how does that look like in our own lives? Because we can get so sidetracked very easily, and this is where what we are giving our time to is so important, because this is where we can find these distractions or something that comes in. This is that can lead us down a dark hole. This is where we can allow negativity to come into our lives. We can come in, new alignments that aren't supposed to be there. For if we are paying attention, keeping ourselves grounded, allowing ourselves to really watch what we're listening to, what we're eating, what we're doing, then we are able to have that discernment, because discernment is the big word of the day. We had agape the other day. Now it's discernment, because you need the discernment in order for us to stand into our joy, into the praises, into the love, into what it is that we want to create and bring forth. But things can get a little bit crazy, and we can get a little bit out of sorts with all of this, right? And this is where, and especially with the amount of technology that's coming in, we get the that new upgrade to our iPhones that's coming in. I think it's happened in the States already, and it's freaking crazy. It's crazy, this new technology with the phone. And it's what's so crazy about this technology. Blessings to you, Lexi. I hope you're feeling better today. What's so crazy about this technology is it's happening so fast, and it's happening so quickly, where she's turned it off. Why would you turn it off? It's going to be there. The funny thing, people don't want to do the upgrades, but it's funny. It's like, in one way, you're kind of, what do you, oh, it's like, I really want people to embrace the new technology, not in a positive way, in order for us to utilize it in a positive way. But so many people are scared of it. And it's really getting to understand what that technology can do for you. It's there. And I know it can be kind of scary, all of this that's coming in. And especially with the technology, I get it. People turning it off. Will I turn it off? No. It's where I'm curious. I want to know about it. I want to understand it, right? They already understand that. And yeah, they already have that. The thing is that if for them to have that technology means that they already have it. They already got it. They already, and the thing is, if you are able to utilize it in understanding that you can create things, create your websites, create your blogs, create your videos and other things, it can be a very beautiful, useful tool. And when something comes out and says, "Oh, well, we can use your eye patterns," right? They're already doing it. They're just now implementing it for you to utilize it. But they've been already able to do it, if you know what I mean. Anyways, you know, but that's the thing, is that this is where, and it just reminds me of my dad. This is where it's like my dad refused to have a debit card. Refused to have a debit card, went to the bank, only would use checks, that's it, or brought or took out cash, and that's it. But he refused. It was his age, it was the time. And that's the thing, is like, was that a good thing? Was it a bad thing? You know, weigh it out. How would you feel if we took away the technology of your debit card, or that technology of the tap, right? Some people use tap, some people don't use tap. It's new technology that comes in. What about the phone? How many people use their phone to pay? Take away that technology, I'm not going to use it. So it could be good, it could be bad. It's like that crazy debate, right? On what's happening. But it's coming in, and it's coming in rapidly. And this, again, going back to what I was talking about before, it's our energies, how our energies are being used. What is that energy that is being tapped into us? You know, there's so much. There's just so much that's coming in. And that, again, can bring in the anxiety, the overwhelmness. It can bring in the frustrations. It can bring in a lot of stressors. And you're going to find, right? You know, my tap died on mine, so mine doesn't have tap. But occasionally I'll use my phone because I don't want to take out my I don't want to so I don't want to take out my debit because it takes too long to put it in and put in my numbers. So I'll use my phone. So, that's um I'm always curious about technology. I'm always curious about how things are done. And that's the Scorpio thing. I want to discover, I want to understand why you know when it's there, kind of thing. I don't know. It can be utilized for good or bad, but I feel um this is where, if we as a spiritual community begin to utilize it in a positive way, it can be utilized in such greatness to help so many people and to get more information out to a wider audience of who you want to get your information out to. I was just talking to a client of mine who does huge marketing and stuff like that. And in order to do your marketing, you have to be up on AI. You have to be up on the new technologies, the understanding of how everything is coming down the chute. If you don't, it's kind of like you're going to be left behind. If anybody orders or gets a new computer, your old computer will not. A lot of things that you have on your old computer, you won't be able to upload onto your new computer. Same with the phones. A lot of things that, if once you get, with the new technology that's coming with the phones, a lot of things won't be able to upload onto it. Is it good? Is it bad? You know, are we moving too fast with all of this technology? Is this just too much for people to have? These are questions that I think people have to ask and take their personal choice within themselves. Um, if you have a business or something, and I think it's something that people have to know. It's like when websites first started to come out, and a lot of people, why do I need a website? I'll use Yellow Pages. Now, where's the Yellow Pages, right? Um, this is really getting people to awaken, to see what's happening, and not hide away from it, right? And sometimes, when we do certain things, it really brings out our age with things where young people are not afraid. Like, I want to try that. I want to see it. It's like a kid. I want to see how that works. I want to try it, you know? And sometimes we have to have that same curiosity in order to discover things. Some of it, I've seen is crazy, and can go down some crazy, crazy ways. But there's this technology, I feel, that is reemerging from a time that has been lost. So there's energies or frequencies that are coming in of a time that was sort of written out of history, and it's coming back. And this what it can be utilized for, I feel, in so many ways. um it's going to advance a lot of people in certain ways, and certain people aren't going to like those advances, but it's going to get information out to people, and things are going to be, changing rapidly. Like, things, I feel like from today going forward, especially with this Gemini and with the Mercury Gazini coming in, things are going to be moving fast, and that's what Gemini does. It moves at a quick pace. It gets the information out. It gets you going on to the next one, right? And then when it comes into that Scorpio energy, that's really where it's like, okay, let's look into this deeper. Let's study it, and how can we study it, and how can we find out. It's the research of it all. So the research has to come in of how I can implement, certain pieces and parts to this in order to do the things I want to do and create what it is that I want to create within my own realm. So the rapidness is in that energy is moving extremely fast, and in many ways it's where you won't be able to escape it, which can be scary as well, you know as fast as things are moving at this time, in the rapidness of how things and technology and information is coming out. We thought it was fast before. Now it's just like it's lightning speed, or faster than lightning speed. And as we are even moving more into the summertime, summer's coming, and what the transformations of this summer is going to do, not only to us personally, but to the rest of the world, and how that's going to dramatically change. The radicalness that's going to be coming out, especially within our, own country, Canada, is going to be pretty crazy and pretty extreme. And that radicalness that's going to come out, we're starting to see it. And I think Canadians are slowly waking up because they're seeing that there's a lot that's been hidden from people that needs to come out even more. And that's same in the States too. Um, they're in a time when, even, I mean, the president who was the president in World War II, at the beginning of the war, was FDR. I mean, he was the only president that served like 4 terms. He died in the 4th term. And the thing is, for him, he broke every rule. He broke every rule. Especially when it came to the Constitution and getting things done and doing the things that he did. He broke a lot of laws, a lot of rules. And then he did pass away in office. And this is, before the end of World War II. And this is where we got a president right now who feels the same way, like he can break whatever rules. And so it's interesting to see how things are going to emerge from that timelines that are going to come forward in the changes that are being emitted at this time. I know I'm talking in kind of loose terms because I really want people to stay in their spiritual grounding. I'm really, if we get sidetracked with things, like I even noticed, like, oh my God, I get people sending me memes all the time. Like, I love them, but they're sidetracks. They're sidetracking. What are they sidetracking me from? What are they doing? So this is where, and then all of a sudden I get somebody and it's like, oh my God, so many, I got to look at them all, right? But this is like, what are you getting sidetracked by? And because in getting sidetracked, it's also allowing a lot of the negative to come in, the evil to seep in very easily, you know. And I was just going to say, Char's worried about the eye patterns and everything like that. Think of TikTok, what TikTok just does, because it knows, with the algorithms, it knows when you go to the bathroom. It knows how long you stay in the bathroom. It knows the time you usually go to bed, what you're watching when you're going to bed, or if you're watching anything, if you're going to bed, how often you have sex. Do you have sex? Do you not have sex? This is it has the people that come. Do you have a lot of people coming over to your house or not coming to your house? How often do you eat out? Do you eat out? Do you order in? It knows it all. That's how crazy the algorithm is right now, and for the information that they have within us. So that's, it's that's why I say things are changing rapidly, just crazy rapidly. And then there's more things that are going to be coming in, especially here in Canada. So I just want people to be on their toes for what's going to be unveiling over the next several months in Canada. And I mean, here, I think our prime minister was just here in Calgary, And so that was interesting. Interesting that he came. Plus, right now in Calgary, we have some of um, the biggest, wealthiest people for oil and gas in Calgary right now meeting. So there's big, huge meetings right now with oil and gas throughout Calgary at this time. So there's a lot of information and handshaking going on at this time in Calgary. So that's kind of interesting as well. So let's take a look. Now the other I talked about water and getting water and stuff like that is a huge thing. Um, do you really feel that they will get rid of gas? No, they can't get rid of gas. At this time, we can't. We don't have an infrastructure. Even the infrastructure needs to have like something to run it. How is the electricity going to run? Some of it is still we still have some run on coal. Coal's going to be phased out by I think 2035 or so. And even with the hydro plants and everything else, they still need it, right? But it's like they need it. You got to think of it this way: they need it. They need it. That doesn't mean you'll have it. That's how you gotta look at it. Doesn't mean that you'll have it. I was reading an article about solar panels farms changing the weather. I can yeah, I can sort of see that too. Um, even with if have you ever seen a wind farm? They're kind of freaky. Especially when you come across them on the prairies, right? You come around a corner and there's a whole bunch of fucking wind farms, and you're just like, whoa, because you don't realize how big they are until you see them close up. And I mean, the amount of damage, they do more damage than good. We know that. And it's not like the governments or the environmentalists don't know that. They do know that. Same with the solar panels. With the solar panels, there's some huge positives with solar panels. Like if you do any camping or traveling and things like that, there's some real positives. Right now, I've seen a it's a manor house. It's a castle in England, and it is run has been converted over to solar. A lot of it's been converted over to solar, and that's to help to heat it, run it. They have the huge Tesla batteries and everything set up. It helps to run. They have um, on their manor estate, on their estate, they have I think 3 or 4 greenhouses, which is sufficiently supplying everything that they need for their restaurant that they have. And so everything is grown on grounds. And they, with the estate, of course, they also have um the cows and the chickens and the lambs and everything else to to supply not only for themselves in the house, but also to supply for their restaurant that they have there, also to supply for for selling and stuff. And it's quite a huge operation. It's amazing um of how much everything has been reduced. Now he does have a backup system, definitely, for this, but, even for underneath the flooring, and some of the flooring goes back to the, Elizabethan age, and, and the grates underneath, the grates that they have in some of the rooms, which are huge because they had to, bring in some heat in some way, but he's converted a lot of that to underground water heating system. The Romans had that. The Romans had underflooring, water heating systems in all of their, Roman estates. So if you in the villas, so if you saw a lot of the villas that came into Europe, they had water systems underneath that helped to keep the floor warmed as you walked through and helped to heat the house. So he's sort of implemented some of that as well. It's just remarkable. So some of the, as I say, some of the advancements that they've made are mind-boggling, right? One of the guys that I watch who's rebuilding a chateau right now, and it was burnt. It started on fire, I think, back in the 80s, and the whole thing was burnt down. Now Dan has he's been working on, I think, over a year now on redoing it, creating the whole thing again. But right now he hasn't had any electricity on site. And so to power all of his tools and everything, it's all by solar. So to think that everything that he's doing and everything that is coming in is all by solar, you know. So but when it comes to some of the solar farms too, they've had to close down because they weren't producing enough of what they thought they would produce too. So yeah, so there's a lot. I think NARPA is another thing that controls our weather as well. I think it's called that. Starts with an N. That controls our weather. Our weather patterns here have been crazy. So, you've also had things like, Bill Gates saying that he wants to block the sun. So, but the thing is, when you start really messing around with a lot of that, we can go all the way.
Come here and brush that teeth
now. That's Steve in the background. Mateus is homesick.
But I want to stand my jammies.
No.
Just please don't argue while I'm online. So there's so much there. Like if you go back to a lot of empires that really created a lot of newness and stuff like that, right back to Atlantis, they ended up crumbling. Because they've abused it. They've abused the energy, or they abused the information that they have. Even in Turkey, there are sites where they can explain some of the markings in some of these ancient sites, because their markings are explosive. They're atomic explosions. So they've had these atomic explosions that have happened in these different places, and they have the same kind of markings, and they can't explain it, yet they are predate Christ, predate over 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 years, right? So technology has been there. It's how, and then it gets lost, right? And then it comes back. And we are in a time when things are coming back, and they're coming back very rapidly. And it's, again, how are we going to utilize it? Or are we going to abuse it and then we go back to ground zero? Now, we live in a time where we've never had so much prosperity in our world, where we've never had and been able to have people that, especially here in the Western world, that live in a house, that have a toilet, that has food readily available. We've never really had a society like that before, for that we know of, right? And so the technology and stuff that I feel like is coming in is some technology that might be a little bit more advanced than what it was before, but I think some of it has been here before, and it's just coming back. So so many craziness. But history, I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why a few years ago, I noticed when you went into different bookstores, history books were starting to disappear off the shelves, and the history sections started to get smaller and smaller. The other things is maps. Finding old world maps is huge. And what they what the world looked like and different things like that. So there's the whole thing on maps, and having maps is very important, because that's technology, that's information. And we might not think of it as technology, but it is. It's a form of technology, right? So having things like that, because they hold history on territories, on how quickly things can move and shift. Yet we are stuck in a way that, well, it can't shift that way. It can't change that way. There's no way, like somebody said to me, there's no way, hypothetically, just allegedly, no way Alberta could be on its own. I'm like, well, why not? There's countries in Europe that have no land or have no water around them, that they're landlocked, yet they're surviving, they do well, but it's like opening up the borders to do trade. What kind of trades that you do, how do you connect with different countries and making those trades, right? So it's like things can happen and move, and things can go in a different way that people didn't think that they would go. And so it's interesting. It's just an interesting way. And this energy that's coming in, especially with all the Gemini energy, it's bringing in huge changes for us. And we're going to be seeing that, especially as the summertime comes. More of it's going to come. More of it's going to really happen. And then it's going to come new opportunities. So things in the world are definitely, opportunities, new ways are going to come in. But we have to understand where we're going, right? Yes, the opportunity is coming in, but then comes the journey, the road that we have to take to go on it. And what is that journey? What do we need? How do we, what is that information going to look like? And it's a new journey. It's a new journey that we're embarking on. And we have to come into, what are we taking on this journey? What is the knowledge that we have? And are we open to new knowledge and new information that wants to come through? Because it's a world that wants, in some parts, wants to take us back to, it's 0 and 1. So it's very beginning. This is the beginning of something, the beginning of some big changes that are coming in. And there's a part of the world not only is evil, but there's a part that wants to take us back to a time when women had no choice, women had no say. Take away that identity of who women are. If you think of a lot of women in Middle East, it's they, in their I'm going to say it's the burqa. It's probably the wrong name. They're hidden. There is no identity to that woman. You cannot see that woman. She can hardly even see out. When she can see her, when she speaks, it's hard for her to say, it's muffled through the layers and the veils that are upon her. Everything, every part of her is hidden. So there's, where your identity is no longer. You're not allowed to show your individualism. You're not allowed to show that part of you, because it is whatever they identify it to be. So there's that's coming forward, right? So there's a push on that. There's a town in Michigan that has totally, it's totally, like, if you go into this town in Michigan, and it used to be a lot of Polish people immigrated and were in there. Now it's all Middle Eastern people, and it's like a Middle Eastern country, this town in the United States. If I drove in wearing what I am wearing, I would probably get stopped, because of their bylaws, and everything they have in that town now makes it illegal for me to be wearing the clothes that I'm wearing today. And they also have it, where they're starting to make secular laws within their community. So I know, how do I go from Gemini? But that's what I mean. Like, things can change. They can revert back to the old ways. revert back to a time where you have no rights. You cannot say anything. We're doing it this way. To where it's like, okay, can we bring in some sort of a balance? Yeah, I have rights. I'm wanting to express myself. I'm wanting to do the things I want to do. And I want to step into some new ways of creating and tapping into that creation. So there's a spectacular new journey that's coming in. But are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to accept it? The Four of Cups comes in. Four of Cups is saying, are you willing to accept this newness? Are you willing to accept it? Or are you still looking at the way things were? Because it's like here you're looking at these three cups that are just sitting there. They're not doing anything. It's the old way, but the newness is trying to come in and show you something new, bring you to something new, but you're really stuck on the old and you're really not willing to take and go on to the new journey. So look in your own life where you're not willing to take the new journey, where you're afraid to take the new steps. Now I know for myself, I'm a fixed sign. So taking some new journey, moving to some new house, changing things around takes a lot. It doesn't happen overnight. So I have to really, look at, okay, where am I stuck? Why am I not doing that? What am I afraid of? And look at that within your own selves. And come in and bring in the celebration and the praises in your life and allow yourself to step up and praise everything, praise it, give it up to God of all the beautiful things that you do have and things that are going on. There you guys go. So have a great day. Readings are on sale. I have, if you buy one reading, they're $100. If you buy two readings, they're $150. If you buy 3 readings, it's $200. So if you are wanting to purchase 3, 1, 2 readings, they're on sale right now. It's my summer sale, and it'll end the weekend of the summer solstice. So there you go. Have a blessed one, everybody. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you in all that you say and all you be and all you do. And focus on the things that you need to do for you. And step into that power. All righty. Blessings.